transforming manufacturing from chaos to clarity with Odoo. So it is just a real life experience uh, which we have implemented. And so we are a company, Trivectadigital Solutions, based out of Chennai. My name is Paramasivam. I'm the CTO and co-founder of the company. And we are a Odoo ready partner. So we provide IT solutions for the customers in India and overseas for last 10 years. And we focus on technology to do the business transformation and providing it agile, efficient, and competitive. And Odoo services as a licensing, consulting, implementation, integration, customization, and support. So I'll get into this one. So just describing about the company, it is one of the leading pump manufacturer out of Coimbatore. They're the fourth largest. It is about 40-year-old company. And so the father runs a traditional domestic pump manufacturing and distribution. They have branches across India. And the son has a Oxford written and Warwick written. So he doesn't want to get into with his father's business and mess it around. So he had set up an export business. So they also have a joint venture with one of the largest wastewater pump manufacturing from Germany. And so they also have another company focusing on providing design services, engineering design services, and component manufacturing for pump manufacturers across the world. So then they have another trading company which gives the solutions to the retail customer. And then these wastewater pumps is made for the German company, and that is being distributed locally within India by this company. So typically they have about 6 companies. Okay, so first is one is the domestic companies, which is manufacturing surface pumps. The second is a company which is manufacturing submersible pumps. And the third is a joint venture company with a German company. And fourth is a kind of a service engineering service provider for all these parent companies as well as for the overseas customers. And fifth one is a trading company to provide the total solution to the retail customer. And the sixth company is a distribution company, which is distributing the wastewater pumps to the Indian, made out of this joint venture, but distributed to the Indian customers. So complexity is, I think we have adequate. Apart from that, we have close to about 12 branches and about 4 manufacturing unit, and a lot of outsourcing happens in a pump industry. I don't know who are all kind of familiar with Coimbatore pump industry. Okay, so a lot of outsourcing happens in terms of foundries because every third pump manufactured in India is out of Coimbatore. Okay, and so they sell not only here, even this customer sells in about 20 countries. So they have, of course, they have a branch in Texas, and they are the one affected by 50% tariff by President Trump as well. So, the complexity is so much, and father is very, very kind of inward focused and very, very disciplined, and he has built brick by brick, starting with about 50,000 capital in 80s, right? So son is did his BS in Sheffield and MS in Warwick manufacturing and MBA in Oxford. He worked sometime in Italian pump company, and then he did an internship in Forbes. So then got into the business. So he is totally outward focused, marketing, and so he's so kind of connected to the entire world. He has, because of his connections, he has a friends, and so he's able to build the business. So it is complementing each other, but they feel that it is father kind of always worried about the son is outward focused, and son is always worried about father, like he's always inward focused. So we are trying to kind of, when we taken up this, like it is one of the challenge we found is like business challenges can be solved, technology challenges can be solved, but people challenges is always something like which is uh, creating a challenge in every customer place. Unless otherwise you have a management commitment, okay, for this to roll out, and I want to see this reports. Suppose we have proposed Odoo, so I kind of a first meeting I said like you have to look at your reports, everything out of Odoo. Then only people will kind of do it. If you ask them to again provide it in Excel sheet, then you don't know whether they are manipulating or they're entering the data into the system. So it will always be a challenge. So first commitment we take it from the customer is like you will use the technology, and you will use the report from, of course, son is fully technology oriented, but father is kind of familiar with using computers, all that. And so all your reports you have to see only in Odoo. So that was our first kind of a commitment which we have taken from the management. So this company, probably you can look at it, it is called Deccan Pumps and Eki group of companies. So it's one of the large company based out of Coimbatore. So initially, if you really look at like the father is so, because he has built it brick by brick for last 40 years, he's familiar what happens there in every branch, and he can really pinpoint and ask questions. Okay, so in fact, like he's so disciplined, like he goes to bed at 8:15 and wakes up at 3:30. From 5 o'clock to around 7 o'clock, he connects with all the branch managers in here and as well as in US and other countries. And like around 6:30, by 7:15, he is at the factory. Okay, so this is a repeating thing for last 40 years. And so it is so predictable. So if you really know, he knows every in and out of manufacturing, where the cost and all that, but it is all in their mind, right? It is all self individual oriented, and he has all that business. Even son's business, like though he does all the marketing, in the manufacturing side, he keeps an eye on, like in terms of the purchase and how it is getting delivered, all that. So the idea is like the son and daughter-in-law, they want to kind of clearly said like we are not going to run the business post. He wants to retire in 5 years. Father wants to retire in 5 years, right? So we are not going to do the way you do at waking up at 3:30 and like going to the office at 7:50. We are not going to do, because daughter-in-law is also a doctor. She's a gynecologist, right? So this is a kind of a challenge which we started with. They had some systems like for accounting, they had Tally and some purchase order and invoice making. They had some locally developed software and some Excel sheets, some printout papers, all that it was happening. Okay, business was running, but so always there was a kind of a bottleneck or somebody getting exhausted because it's so much to do, but so little time. Right, so that's when we kind of started, and of course the family is known to me, so because of that they had a trust as well. And so they were zeroing in on, they were working on SAP, all that. Then they zeroed on Odoo, and because of one is the investment required and as well as the ease of use for the end users. Okay, so that's where we started. So from the real world impact, if you really look at for the finance team, so manual burden to rapid billing, like it is all the additional thing is like apart from the branches, they have a dealers across India, right? So the dealers, there are the large dealers, but there are like around 30-year loyal dealers. Okay, they may not make business, but every year they keep giving the business. Okay, so the discount structure is something different, very ad hoc. Okay, so they have some standard structure, but again, like dealer will directly call the owner and try to get a discount and so offer it. So they have some offers. So and so it is always like it's too much to do. Like if you really go and physically start doing it. So first almost 2.5 months, like one of our, I spent quite a good amount of time, and as well as one of my colleague had spent good amount of time spending time with understanding the business and how they are practicing. See, one of the, as a technical people, we always kind of focus on, of course, I assume that a lot of technical folks are here. So we focus on technology, right? So our day in, day out, we say we get excited in coding or providing a solution. We are aha moment, all that is there. But at the end, we kind of miss out. One thing is interacting with the customer, right? So this 2 months has really opened us a lot of understanding the business. Okay, so today we are able to, at least if not to their level, we are able to recommend some of the processes, process change, and some of the things like adapting what is available. So in that, like if you really look at from a manual burden to a rapid billing and e-invoicing time, like we were able to reduce it by about 80% with the invoice registering portal integration, freeing up the staff, and improving cash flow. See, another thing is the credit, they give a credit. So they give a credit of about, say, 30 days or a 45 days kind of a thing. So there is a credit amount is there. Okay, so for depending on their volume of business and the loyalty, like they have a credit amount. So 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 30 lakh, up to 30 lakh, they give it. And the problem is the guy buys now this month, like let us assume August 13th, he buys, okay, for about 2 lakhs. And he doesn't do business for next 6 months. Nobody follows up because though I have a credit limit of 3 lakhs, I bought it for only 1 lakh. Okay, so I don't do business for next 6 months. Nobody follows up because he still has a credit limit, right? So then we kind of tried bringing in some kind of a credit days as well. So he has a credit limit, and within the 30 day, like if he doesn't pay that credit, then like we kind of stop the invoicing. He cannot do the further purchase, right? So these are all manually happening. Somebody is there, familiar person, he will ask for it, but otherwise it was kind of, it will keep on going because sales is interested in showing the numbers, like saying that we have sold so much and all that. And every week when they review the payment, it is a big outstanding. So it was a small customization which was required, and it is currently on an online version, but we are migrating to .sh. And so if you find like, so we have implemented, one of the thing is the credit days. Like, so if it is exceeding 30 days, whatever the volume of the business, he will not be able to make the next invoice. So once that is done, lot of things, like at least like now they have gone live since April, about almost 5-6 months is 5 months is over. So now they're able to get the credit under control. So that has really helped the finance team as well in terms of managing the cash flow. Then sales team, enhanced field performance, faster sales, mobile check-in. So one of the thing is like the sales team, they give a sales kit, and they also kind of organize some kind of influencers, the plumbers and the architects, all that, they between different cities, they organize a meet and this one, but there is no accountability, and there is no, there is a budget is there, they expend it, but there is no way of measuring what is the return it has given. Okay, so because nobody knows like where it has gone and who are all come, and no attendance, because it is entered in an Excel sheet, and the sales guy maintains in his own drive, and it is not kind of a shared. And then like they also go and sales guy, people go out to the branches, dealers outside the state, they claim all the expenses and per diem, but there is no data of whom they met and when they met and how long they have spent physically, where they were there or they were at a relative's place and claiming the per diem. Nobody knows about it because he updates over the phone and it just goes by trust, right? So now we have implemented something like a using the GPS. So the guy, we track the sales guy who's going there. But here, like in Odoo, like in online, we have only the attendance part, like he has to check in so that physically the GPS coordinates can be captured. But we also, what we have done is like for a customer, how many times he has visited. Okay, so if it is a lead, like how many times he has visited to close it, how many times he has claimed the expenses per DM, and how much business he has closed. So we brought this information in a single dashboard. So that has really helped the customer. Otherwise, like this will be there, like they have done 10 trips, 5 trips, and so there is no, for a per customer level, there is no information. Right, so that is something which we have collated. So that has really helped the management to track it. Of course, leading to a quicker deal closure and increased revenue. And manufacturing, again, you will find there is a company which is providing they have all the infrastructure, CNC machines, everything, designer, engineering design, all the people are there. So these companies, the parent companies, for their own use, like they give outsource to the foundry. So that means subcontracting module is required. Then from the subcontracting to an outside vendor, once they get the raw castings, it is also subcontracted to the internal company, their own group company, for doing the machining and either making the component or building the final the built casing. So then the machined component comes back to the industry, then like they do the winding, all that testing, all that it happens. So you find the complexity of subcontracting outside to a vendor, then comes in, then like it is also subcontracted to the internal company, then they have some operations in-house, right? And there is another challenges, like one of the company, the joint venture company with a German company, it is called Homa. Eki Homa is a joint venture company. So they give the component, they get the order from Homa, outsource it to K21, they supply the raw material. So they will have 10 operations in certain components, out of which like 3 components will be done in-house, doing the CNC machine, drilling, all that happens. Then like about 2 or 3 activities will happen outside, like a heat treatment and all that. So that was again a complex where we have to do some kind of a customization. And so that is something like it was all happening through a paper and job card and kind of a thing. Now it has got into the system. We were also able to capture the data in terms of what is the movement of goods. Is it an efficient movement? So we also did some kind of a mobility study, a particular raw material, how many places it moves internally before getting converted to a final goods. Then with this, they were able to get the status, and ultimately, not now, but in another 3 to 6 months, they want to make it like an Amazon, like where when you order, you are able to track from the time the guy who is trading has handed over to Amazon and tracking it and whether it's ready for delivery. Similarly, they want to provide it for the overseas customers when they receive a order for making the pumps or like making the components. So they want to make it so that it is totally visible to them. So that is what something which we are working, but it will take another 6 to 8 months until we cover all the branches. Then of course, employee side, like the HR and leave applications and employee reimbursements, like we are able to relate it to the customer. It is a cost of production. Then, of course, the current thing is the fragmented IT landscape and compliance handling, manually invoicing, e-way and time-consuming, error-prone, and multiple tools, data silos, duplication, no real-time sync. manual intercompany transactions, like because they were making it manually, putting it in one system, the purchase order, and receive it here, DC, and receive it in the other one. So it was increasing the manual activity. Because with the Odoo, one of the powerful feature is the intercompany transactions. Okay, so you make a delivery order here, and to one of the multi-company setup, automatically it creates a GRN, and the receiving party once approves it, it automatically gets into the inventory. So that has really helped them. Then lack of CRM and sales visibility, because it was all lying in an Excel sheet with the sales guys. Like, so that has been brought to CRM, because I have only 5 minutes, so I'm just slightly rushing. So sales visit tracking, which I shared already. Invoice not restricted by credit limit days, and the expense reimbursement being handled manually. Of course, no centralized. They also want to visitors, somebody comes in, because they have a confidentiality agreement with the overseas customers. So there is no track of who goes to the manufacturing facility, enters into the office. So the visitor management, that was one of the challenge. So now with the approval process, which we have implemented, so they know who is approving, who is in the reception area before giving the approval. And price management, the price lists, where, like, depending on the volume and the longevity of the dealer, we are able to set the different discount structures at the product level, at the dealer level, at the customer level. And limited visibility in manufacturing. So that was the challenge, but that is now we were able to kind of address it. And we did not show up with a demo and a checklist, but we listened. That's what I spent, like, before even starting talking about Odoo, buying a license, like, we started spending about 2.5 months to understand. And in fact, some of the activities, our people have done it. And so that is where, like, we were able to kind of go smooth. Like, we started in December, we were able to go live in April, and on the phase 1, and phase 2 is like will go live in another 3 months or so. So all the customer facing functions, we have done it in phase 2, and all the internal operations we are planning in phase 2, and all the service related, like post sale operations, we are planning it in phase 3. Okay, so the goal was that we figured out things were getting stuck and what really needed fixing. The goal was not just go digital, it was to make life easier for the people on the ground. And we have done a lot of interactions with the end users, training, and we created videos in Tamil, and like each of making an invoice, like we made it in Tamil, and like so that this guy does not have a hesitation to call us every time. So he can go through the video even if he forgets something. And then, like, we have placed somebody there to support and train and ensure that everyone is kind of made comfortable with the system. That has really helped. And of course, Odoo's simple user interface has helped a lot. And now, like, some of the power users are kind of now so much comfortable. So all the reports, creating the filters, all that, they're able to do it by themselves. And so tailored using Odoo, we are able to achieve the unified ERP across all functions: e-invoicing, e-bill, e-way bill automation, seamless intercompany transactions, centralized CRM and lead tracking. Of course, mobile-based sales visit, credit limit days for invoice, HR and employees expense automation, visitor management, dynamic price list implemented, MRP routing and subcontracting modules, user role-based thing, like that is something which we were able to give it, automated document emailing. Okay, this is some of the interfaces. So we also have to do some customization. So the turning point is as a conclusion, it is one unified ERP replaced multiple disconnected tools and manual tasks, enabled real-time visibility to the management, 100% compliance automation in terms of GST, because they have almost 12 or 13 GST. Every month they have to file for 12 filings have to be done even for the branches. and generating the e-way bill. Like suddenly 5 o'clock, you will find about 50 deliveries are happening. So the e-way bills have to be generated in about like half an hour or something. So earlier they were kind of making it manually, but now it is kind of they are empowered to do. So they were able to make it with the system from the interface itself. So now they've reached an extent like where they're able to ask like, no, I need, currently the e-way bill is shown in the delivery order or a delivery challan creation place. They said like, we want it in the invoice. Okay, I should be able to create an e-way bill from the invoice. So they were, some of the users like so involved, like now they were able to ask for additional features, which is also, they feel it will really help their productivity. They are realizing the systems, the features and power. 90% reduction in manual work for intercompany transactions, structured CRM, 50% faster expense approval, visitor and inquiry data are now centrally logged and accessible. So you know who had visited in the last whatever, like you can look at it, you have the history and whom they met, all that, and it is available for audit as well. Live production tracking, vendor coordination has improved with the full subcontracting visibility, 100% user-based access control. SOs and POs, invoices, email directly saved time and avoided errors. Earlier, they used to kind of print it on their letterhead and like again scan it and send it by email. All that was happening. So now that is not there. Like we have created the template in the system itself, similar to whatever they were having their letterhead. And so it is directly sent from the creation. And Odoo's access rights and automation tools made all this possible. So basically, one is quickly selling the software and getting out, and like so it is his problem to have it. But hand-holding, once you are able to provide the solution, then a lot of respect from the customer and a lot of trust also happens, and it automatically increases the business as well. Okay, so that is what we have learned from this one, and we focused on steady, meaningful transformation, not an overnight overhaul or improvements. Odoo's flexibility lets us build exactly what is needed. With the right mix of understanding, customization, and Odoo modules, you can bring clarity to the chaos. Thank you. Okay. Sorry, I had to rush because of you keep showing the board. So. Yeah, please.
Yeah, hi. Thank you. Thank you for the session. Okay, so we implemented Odoo manufacturing as well in the premises.
Is it?
Odoo manufacturing module. We have implemented, like you have implemented that.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. And so what is the biggest challenge you face over there? Because as you've shown, there are lots of things like intercompany transactions, you do contract manufacturing. So what were the basic, what was the biggest challenge you faced over implementing this?
See,
Because in the foundry kind of businesses, you see a scrap or wastage as well, a lot. So how do you handle that? Because it cost a lot when it comes to a work order costing.
Correct.
Yeah.
See, there are too many, a lot of challenges.
But what was the
but I'll
biggest
just give you
challenges?
like
Yeah.
probably couple of them. One is like the rock casting. Okay, so they have a design standard. So each rock casting has to be 6.8 kgs, right? So they give an order for say 1,000 pieces, and like every month they give an order. Please sit down. So they give an order for 1,000 pieces, right? 1,000, 5,000, depending on the volume. So the mold is made by them. Okay, so the company, our customer, makes the mold and gives it to the foundry once in like say 1 year, 2 year, depending on the number of impressions. So what happens is your purchase order is for like say 1,000 into 6.8 kilos. Okay, it comes to whatever, like 6,800 kilos, right? But when the guy is delivering, he deliver because for multiple reasons. Foundries, you cannot have an accuracy, and there will be a tolerance limit of I think 3% or something is allowed. But because of the mold changes, okay, so mold is keep on wear and tear. Okay, so he delivers like instead of 6.8 kilos, he delivers 7.1 or 7.2, right? So this is two things. One is he charges for 7.1 kilos only, not for 6.8. Okay, so they pay more. Their costing includes only 6.8 kilos, but they pay for 7.1 kilos. That is one thing. Second thing is, when it comes into the machining, they have to remove it, the additional 300 grams from raw casting, which involves additional machine time, manpower time, and as well as that material goes as a scrap, whatever the 300 grams, right? So this visibility was absolutely not there. So the guy will send an invoice for 7.1 kilos, and like so they will, in the purchase department, they will change the purchase order and keep paying the money. This is one big revelation which has come. Okay, so now what we have done is, because anyway foundry guy, he said like, one is, there are two things which has come. One is they started tracking the number of impressions per mold, right? So they know if it is happening, like say if it has done 100,000 impressions have been, raw casting has been done out of that mold, they will replace the mold because that will cheaper than paying this extra. Then the second thing is like the scrap, they do not even know how much has gone out of that. It is not into the costing. Okay, when they sell decide the price for selling and the margin, so this has not come into the costing, right? So now what we have done is like the invoice, you take it as that, but purchase order you are given it for 6,800 kilos. Okay, so you put a bill for 6,800 kilos, remaining 300 kilos, put it as a scrap. We have created an item in the inventory, so it goes as a scrap, so that we are able to monitor at the end of the month like how much a scrap has gone. This is one challenge. The second challenge is like, so this company, parent company, is buying the material, subcontracting to their own company, right? So all the machines, everything is there. That is one subcontracting. So once it comes into this subcontracting, there are about different, depending on the component, it varies from like 6 operations to 10 operations. So out of the 6 operations, 3 operations are done in this place. 4th operation is sent outside. Okay. Then 5th and 6th again will get done here. 7th will go out. Finally, it will come and do the 8th and 9th and complete the finished product. So how do you track? Like today it was being manually done. Okay. Even some of the aspects still we have to get into the system. It is still being manually done. But because this complexity of multiple vendors, from conversion of the raw material to finished goods, you have multiple things being done here, outside, then quality check, right? So when the raw casting is coming, that was another thing. So when they deliver, the guy takes 1,000, right? They've already paid. So whatever credit days, like 30 days or something, they pay the money. So this one will take, they will take it. They don't even know how long is, they keep a stock for about 2 months because of the copper pricing and the metal pricing varying. Like they always keep a stock of about 2 months stock, right? So after a month when they take it, they will find a fault in the raw casting. So it has to be rejected. So that has to be debited to the guy. Okay. So that is again another thing. It was debiting was happening after paying the money to the manufacturer. So now what we have done is we have introduced a quality system where at least a visual inspection is being done when it is landed. Okay, so if there is anything wrong at the visual inspection, it is being rejected and reduced in the payment. That is another thing which so like this, like quite a few things have been, we have come out with a challenge, and we do not have a solution for everything now, because we are, some of the things we have to develop some custom module or something, but we are progressing. See, I'm kind of advising another enterprise like where they have gone to SAP. Okay. And it is a large company. It's about 2,000 crore company. So they decided and they wanted kind of a guidance in terms of how to implement. And here they are not like I think they will do about 150, 200 crore kind of a revenue. So they felt like SAP is too overwhelming for them in terms of, please sit down. So in terms of the cost, in terms of the complexity for the people, and in terms of their complexity itself, like 4 or 5 companies and buying a license for each one of them and operating that, it becomes a very complex. So they themselves have kind of zeroed in on Odoo before, right? So then like we were approaching a known customer, and so the whole thing started that way.
How much difficulties you faced in because since you mentioned all the team, the staff must be 30 years old, 20 years old, 25 years. It must be very difficult for them to shift them to the digital world.
Exactly.
So what are the challenges that you face, and how much time will it take to make them understand by, because since they are old people who are dated back to 20 years, they are highly loyal to the owner. At the same time, they might not be happy to implement, get into the digital system. So what are the challenges and how much time will it take for you to?
See, that is what, like this 3 months, so December we started, right? So, of course, we did a study for about, started in October or November. October and November, we did a study, right? So by then, like, no, September we have started. And then like by November, they also zeroed on Odoo was in their mind, and we were doing the evaluation and then said like we will go with the Odoo. Okay, we were helping as a neutral consultant, not as a Odoo implementer. So during that time itself, like we started some kind of a setting the positive frame of mind to the people. Almost like we were our people are meeting almost daily with each department, and I was meeting them once in 15 days. Okay, and along with the management for about half an hour, then without the management for about 1 hour. Okay, telling them it is so simple, it is something to, because all of them know how to use computers. Like for example, Tally or Excel or email, they were using it. But again, like the resistance were there. Like so because the resistance can not come from a top guys in the company. The lowermost guy who are making a Tally entry, okay, so or whatever the other systems entry, so he keeps nagging his boss or a owner saying that this new system is not okay, it is giving error and this one. And if it gives too many times to the customer, no, then he will say, let us drop it and go back to the old system. Okay, that will be the frustration because the owner has too many priorities rather than addressing him his hesitation. So we have put like almost 2 people in the first 3 months, and only like in the last 2 months or something, like only one person is there, right? So any difficulty, it will not go to the owner, but this guy will be there to support and help him. Training, like some of the guys have gone through 10 or 12 times. Okay, so then only we said like we will take a video of it and give it to them in regional language. That is again very important actually. Yes, yes. No, we did it for about a month. Like I think end of February or something. Like we were live for almost like March. We have done a parallel run. Even for some of the things like today, all the sales, everything they brought it to the system, but all the purchases there in the Tally. Okay, and now the sales is being synced with the Tally now. Okay, because phase purchase we have taken it up in the second phase actually, because the owners wanted to have a control over what is happening with the customers first, all the external entities. That's why we have started with customers and all the customer facing activities. Exactly. See, first thing is there are different approaches there. Customer with a whatever 25 years or 40 years experience, they have a domain knowledge. they have a way of working. They will say this is the right way of working. Okay. And you try to accept everything. What happens is like probably a Odoo being used by millions of users in manufacturing. Okay. So there are a lot of issues have been already solved and it is here. Some good practices, international practices are here. So if we adapt to that, then like keep customizing, it'll keep on going. ERP can become an asset or a liability depending on how well we are able to approach a customer and do it, right? If you don't kind of implement within 3 to 6 months and get out of it, it can become a liability. It'll just go for and forever and ever, and he will keep asking you, give something, he will ask something else. So we said like it will cover only about 70-80% of your functionality today. Okay, remaining things either we will do it manually or existing system we will follow. So our always approach to the customer is go with the standard system, not SH. Okay, we will go with the standard. Whatever is applicable, we will straight away use the default system. And whatever we need to do a little customization, critical things like a templates, all that, we will do it and start using it. That's how we have gone. And that approach have paid back because people are able to kind of get it and look at the benefit early. I don't say others' approach is wrong, but at least my past experience, because in South India, I was the first Navision, the current Microsoft Dynamics partner, like in 2002 and 3. So even Jet Airways, I had implemented it personally, but this is what, like in ERP, you take it for too long to implement, it can become a liability. Yeah, okay.